Patricia, a very good afternoon to you. It was certainly a long session for Jonathan Scholtz, the defence's first witness, who said that Pistorius is severely depressed. Take us through the defence's argument, Patricia.
Good afternoon, Natasha. Of course, we saw Professor Scholtz trying to motivate this court here at the North Gauteng High Court for a lenient sentence for the Paralympian. He tried to paint a picture of a frail man, a very vulnerable man who has been broken by the circumstances surrounding his murder trial, motivating this court, saying that it would not be in the interest of justice. It would not be a good idea sending him back to prison, that we should rather focus on what he has been doing when he was still a competing athlete, and that was giving back to charity, and that he should remain under house arrest and perhaps undergo psychiatric treatment, be hospitalized if need be, because it has been proven, according to Scholtz, that the Paralympian has been left severely traumatized. Of course, he's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, paranoia, anxiety, as we heard this testimony, of course, from Professor Scholtz this morning, saying that he thinks it would be in best interest of justice to rather send the Paralympian for, psychiatric observation, and rather, motivate him to go back and give back to society, do some charity work. That is rather what we should be focusing on. Also telling the court that he believes that the Paralympian has shown significant remorse, has taken responsibility for his actions, and, is trying to take the necessary steps to move towards moving to a fully rehabilitated man, of course, learning from his actions, and that he has so far shown great regret for having killed a woman that he was supposed to love and protect, of course, that being Riva Steenkamp.
And then, of course, to all of this, the state's Gerrie Nel really analysing Scholtz's testimony. And we saw Pistorius looking very strained there. But just take us through what Gerrie Nel had to say in reaction to the defence's arguments.
Of course, we saw Advocate Gerrie Nel not really buying the version of Professor Scott, trying to poke holes in his testimony, discrediting him, trying to prove that Oscar Pistorius is not remorseful, did not take responsibility for his actions. Now, you would know that the Paralympian has recently given an interview to one of the big international media houses, and that was also one of the things that, of course, Advocate Gerrie Nel was emphasizing on, saying that it is strange that the Paralympian is apparently, according to Professor Scholtz's testimony, not strong enough to testify, of course, in mitigation of his own sentencing, but he was strong enough to give an interview to the international media, saying that that does not, paint the picture of somebody that is really remorseful, taking responsibility for his actions, that actually it would have been in the interest of justice and in his own interest for a lesser sentence to rather come before this court, show remorse, take this opportunity to show South Africa and, of course, show the Steenkamp family that he is indeed sorry for what he has done. He is indeed sorry for having claimed their daughter's life on the 14th of February 2013.
But of course, Patricia, when we see Oscar Pistorius in court, as we did this morning, he is looking extremely strained. Talk us through his demeanor throughout the proceedings.
Now, this morning we saw pictures of a red-eyed Oscar Pistorius surfacing in court. At intervals, we saw him covering his face with his hand, looking, very heavy medicated, if one may say. Whether that is the case, it's not known. But of course, we have heard from the testimony of Professor Scholtz saying that he is severely traumatized. He is suffering from anxiety disorder, and that he has, been treated, or has been undergoing several treatments to try and, of course, recover from all the trauma that he has experienced since the death of Riva Steenkamp and all the events leading up to, of course, his sentencing hearing that has re-emerged here at the North Gauteng High Court. So it looks like the Paralympian is, as Scholtz has testified, he is very frail. He looks very emotionally distraught and, of course, painting a very devastated picture, a very emotionally drained picture. And of course, we heard Professor Scholtz saying that he looks like, but rather he is a broken man. And that seems like that is the picture that Oscar Pistorius was reflecting this morning, a picture of a broken man.
All right, and Patricia, the matter has stood down until 2:30. What are we expecting when court resumes again?
Of course, the state will be continuing with their cross-examinations of Professor Scholtz. Whether that will continue after the, of course, when we resume after the adjournment, well, that still remains to be seen. You would know that 2:30 is already late in the afternoon. Normally, the court sits until 3 o'clock for this matter. So we're not sure whether we will continue or whether they'll be asking for an adjournment, and then we will continue tomorrow. But if we do continue, then of course, like I said, the state will be continuing with their cross-examination, and they're hoping to finish with his cross-examination today. And thereafter, we will be continuing with the next witness, who we've already heard from the defense that they're planning to call, of course, a charity representative or a charity worker who has had close ties with the Paralympian. And of course, that person is expected to come and testify also, supporting the version of Professor Scholtz that Pistorius should rather be put under house arrest and given the opportunity to fully rehabilitate himself and give back to society, because that is one of the strong things that he has shown over the years while he was still a competing athlete, that he cares about the needy, and that he has really stretched his abilities on that arena, giving back to charity.
All right, Patricia, thank you very much for that update. Our reporter covering that story for us at the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria.